Hey guys, Gary Schultz from Cyclone Custom Trucks and Vans. We got a mess going here now. I wasn't going to do a video on this, but I think everybody needs to learn the same lesson I'm having to learn here, so let's do it. We're going to talk about cables. We're going to talk about battery imbalance. We're going to talk about Victron inverters, and we're going to talk about bus bars and how much amperage they should be able to consume or take without getting hot. We had a problem when we were out at Peace, Love, and Vans, and the problem is the fridge was getting up to 65 degrees. It was 90 outside, but the isotherm fridge should not get up that warm. And we realized that the freezer was cold, but the fridge was warm. I looked it up and it said, when that happens, it's one of two things: not enough ventilation, or it could be it's not getting enough power, enough amperage. And I realized that it's the battery imbalance thing. And I'll show you what I had going here. And I'm kind of in the middle of the project, so I'm sorry I didn't start you off at the beginning. I got a bunch of parts coming, so we'll talk about all of it here. So what we had going here before was I had the two batteries down below, one there, one over there. And then I've got three batteries up above. Well, the cables, battery to battery on the three, you can see I've got a cable right there going battery to battery, so jumpers could be short, right? But then when it went down to these batteries down below, I had some 30-inch long cables to get down there, and then battery to battery, they're pretty far apart. So again, 20-something inch cables, and that's what causes an imbalance because of resistance battery to battery. So I think we're gonna rewire this whole damn thing. There's not enough room for all this stuff. I'll show you what I got going here. So number one here, I bought this battery charger that works for lithium batteries, and this thing's actually, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll put a link down below. So I got this thing connected here, and it's showing, that's the temperature, 59. 13.5 volts is all we've got on that battery. 5.46 amps, 15 degrees C, 13.5. So it's charging right now, and it's a pretty impressive little charger. I love it. But you can see what we had going here with the jumpers, and I kind of would like to have Lynx distributors in here, but I don't really have room, maybe for one on the end there. But we're gonna have to see what we can do to fit a better bus bar situation, because I realized these bus bars that I've got here, these are made for like 300 amps a piece. We gotta clean up the wiring here. I think I'm gonna have to redo the whole thing. Yeehaw, right? There's another little ground bar I got down there, and then there's just some refrigerator fuse and a fuse for the air conditioner and I don't know. So over here I have solar and then AC circuit breakers. I talked to the guy at Battleborn, and he said my 300 amp bus bars are okay. They're actually probably a little overkill for 5 batteries. So I just mounted them up to this piece of plastic that's PVC, and they're gonna sit right there. And so I'm gonna go ahead and make some cables here. It's take me a while to do that, but there we go. We're back in business. He said my fuse is good. Everything I've done is good. So I'm just gonna leave this. Okay, so I bought this little kit here, which I'll put a link down below for, and it comes with all these connectors, and it did come with the heat shrink, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink that down. I feel like once I get the heat gun up to heat, I kind of just want to do them all. So let's just put them all on. So this is what the kit looks like here. Comes in this little box, and here's it comes in the trays in the box with all the stuff. And then here's my hydraulic crimping tool. And I just put it in the vise here. So that's all that is, you know. I put it in the vise because it's hard to keep cranking on it. And then this is the manual one. Okay, so we've got all our cables made here. For safety. Okay, so every battery has its own set of cables up to this bar and that bar. And then this one goes to the shunt. And then this one here goes to the on-off switch. So I'm ready to try it, I think. Let's just do it. Yay, I heard something good. Yay, we got power. What a pain in the rear, though, to do this all. Wow. I'll show you one more time here. It's just not easy. If it was easy, I guess anyone could do it, huh? So there's my mess. I had to make all those loops for the negatives because that's they're all the same length. So here's my multi-controller, and I'm going to replace it with a touchscreen. GX50, I think is the number on it, the small one. So I measured, it should fit just perfect in here. Okay. Oh, there is that. Nothing to this guy, but I've been through 3 of them. These things, I've just been the lucky guy to get defective ones, so I'm going to switch it out for the screen, and then I can hook up some temperature sensors and other things to it, so I'm kind of excited about this. So, let's do it. So here they are. This is the GX50. And I think this trim will fit just perfect over that. So we're good to go there. So I'm going to mount that up right away. And then here is the Serbo GX. And so since I already have this Ethernet RJ45 here, and then there's an RJ45 up to this guy, I can run those two as they are into this Serbo GX, get a plus and a minus, and I'll have the inverter and the shunt hooked up to this. Then I ordered some, I think they're VE10 cables. I'll put links for all this stuff down below. In fact, you know, I did some shopping, and shoot, you know, the Victron store on Amazon had the best price, so I'll put the links to that. Appreciate it if you'd use my links because I get a little bit of affiliate money from that. It costs the same to you, but anyway, let's do this. This is going to be exciting. So this will be mounted up inside here, and we'll just connect everything to this, and run a couple cables and we should be good to go. In fact, without running any cables, I can hook this up right away. So let's do it. So that side's up. And this thing just snaps on here. And in my case, everything's in the closet here. So let's just check this out here. Hats, stuff. So I built a little box inside here for all this stuff. There's that plug. It's gonna now have to come over to that GX, which I hope that's long enough. Man. Now this one here, he's gonna go to the GX as well. This guy back here. Hopefully you can see that. So that's another Ethernet right there. So we could snap it in now though. Let's do that. Let's snap it in. That's kind of the satisfying thing, right? Do that side first. Looking good, huh? It looks like it belongs there. Well, it does, because we put it there now, right? Yeah, there's your power right there. See it? And something important here is this Wi-Fi key, the Bluetooth pin number, and what else? Wi-Fi MAC address. So if you want to get on the Wi-Fi, we do have a Wi-Fi in our van. It's Starlink. And we'll get that on there so I can look at this from my phone too. So yeah, I don't know. Some people say you got to put a antenna on this to get good Wi-Fi. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, let's do it. Okay, so I put that hole in right there. Where's my finger? There's my finger right there, that hole. And then there's one on the other side, and I've got the fish through there, so I can tape that wire there that needs to go through. And then I've got these guys. So I'm going to put one in the dog crate, a temperature sensor. One in the dog crate. I'm going to put one up in here. And I have fans for this to keep it cool. And the switch is up there, right there. That's the back side of the switch anyway. So I got to clean up those wires, and then I'll show you the Servo GX here. I got it kind of wired temporary. So everything's out here. See, I'm going to redo this floor. So that's everything except for I got to take that seat out yet. But here's the Servo GX. And it's going to go up here on the wall. Right here. In the closet. And probably as far back as I can put it. And then, yeah. So them cables come up through this chase here. And then took the microwave out. And then that's my subwoofer. And then we'll just go ahead and run them down through the chase there. Down through there. Through the hole. And over to the other side, and I'll be golden. I'm going to take these temp sensors, I'm going to clip them off here, and then I'm going to use this for an extension. And these are lugs for the battery, I guess. So I can't really take it off of that. I really don't know how that all works, but I can clip the wire. So that's the plan. It's 38 degrees today. Yesterday got up to about 62, I think. It's 38 right now, 9:30 in the morning. But we're gonna get going here on this again. I got another Vast Home sensor. I'll put a link down below. This is a temperature sensor, and this is for, so we're gonna have one behind the refrigerator, so when it gets hot back there, we'll know about it. And then I picked up these fans. These are 80 millimeter 12 volt fans, and they say these push a lot of air, so we'll see. Made in China. I'll put a link for these too. But so the idea here is that the sensor will program the Servo GX so that the temperature sensor will tell us when it maybe is like 80 back there, 78, something like that. And then we'll have it turn on these fans. So I got to figure out how to mount these fans in there and not have them be in the way of the fridge. And then I got to run this sensor. And then I think we can put the fridge back. So I'm kind of excited about that. So let's get going. Okay, so I got this, I got these things hooked up here. I'll show you. It's in the closet. So temperature gauges are right here, and the red wire goes closest to the top, black wire to the bottom. Temperature 1, 2, 3. And so then, so I just programmed these and named them. And then I adjusted them so that they're all the same. The one for the back of the fridge here is a little bit warmer, I guess, because I'm sitting here, I suppose. I don't know. And you notice the range. Okay, well, the dog crate, I've already set up a program that turns on all these fans when it gets too warm or too cold. So it'll pull the heat through, or it'll pull the cool air from the air conditioner through, cool it off for the dogs. And then the fridge back will be these fans, and then the inverter temperature is, since the inverter fans are on the same circuit as the dog crate, all those fans turn on when the dog crate gets too warm or too cold. So I wasn't going to try to make separate. I've only got so many relays. So I'll show you the where they are here. Okay, the dog crate one is hanging up in the corner there. Then this behind the fridge will just be in that bundle there when I get it tied up. The inverter one, you can hook it to the battery negative terminal. I just connected it to, so I just got it hooked right there. That's it. So that'll kind of do everything in this cabinet. And then you can see the fans here. There's another fan in there down below where there's batteries. And then there's the dog crate fans. So those will all turn on. And I do have an override switch for them. Okay, so for these fans, so this is the new vent. It's all ready to go. And then these fans, I'm just thinking about mounting them on here, just like this. And, you know, push it into the hole, and there you go. You know, I got to offset them because I got this on here. It should work out pretty good. Got a connector on here so I can unplug it if I need to take the vent lid off. And so I just got to solder this one up, the other side of the connector, and wire it on up to the Servo GX. Well, guys, the Battleborn sent me some boxes here to ship the batteries back to them. So I'm pretty happy about that. They're not admitting that there's anything wrong with them, but they're taking them back, so we're good. We're good with that. Okay, so the plan, all this that I did right here, all this rewiring and stuff is going. You know, the whole point of that was to rewire it so that it equal length cables to every battery. It's a lot of wire. I spent way over $100 on this wiring and lugs and everything. No, we're gonna go with one or two big batteries from Epoch, which I've ordered, and they're so popular they're on back order. And one battery will fit in a smaller footprint than these three. And I think batteries 1 and 2 are the ones that are bad. They took a full charge, but they took forever to get charged up, like overnight, from 13.1 to full. And I just think those are the two that have the problem. It could be battery 5 here, because I don't remember where I bought that one. But it's definitely it's battery 1, could be battery 2, might be battery 5. I could probably check them here. Maybe I should check them again. Seems like a lot of work, but maybe I will. Ouch. Let's do this. Let's just do this, you know? So I got all the Battleborn batteries packed up and ready to go here. And they're going to take them and test them and check it out. And I'm moving on to something that'll fit this location much better. So check this out. Two of those batteries, one would fit right in here. And then, you know, the solar controller and the Orion in here. And then the other one up here with the Lynx distributor above it. So I'm thinking that's how I'm going to set this cabinet up. One thing to mention, this post is going to have to get cut about in half, which I don't think is a big problem. This thing's built like a freaking tank. This thing holds up the middle, but look at how thick that is. So if I cut, you know, a little bit of that out, I think we'll be okay. And so I would just have, you know, the wood kind of jet back in there. I want to insulate this wheel well better. I mean, that's literally the rubber mat that the factory put in there, and the thing, you know, there's no insulation whatsoever. So I want to insulate that much, much better than it is. I made this board for all this, and it looks like it should work. And we'll put some vent holes up here, and there will be fans in there. So let's mark this thing. This is where it's going. Hey guys, good morning. Boy, I got a mess going on in the garage and in the van. They haven't picked up the Battleborn batteries, and I haven't received the Epoch battery. But I did get this hooked up yesterday, and I just wanted to show you this, and I'll put links down below. So this is the Lynx distributor, the M10, and I picked up this BEP switch, which will handle the load that we're going to have with two of those 460 amp hour batteries. So, and then I've got my fuse. So this is how we're going to hook it up. The batteries, one of the batteries will hook up here, and then I'll just run another set of these cables up to hook the other battery up. A lot of people talk about, the height difference between these. There is no height difference between these because I put some copper washers underneath this lug here. I don't know if you can see that, but underneath the lug there's a washer, and so really what you can do is put the lock washer on the bottom that comes with this BEP switch, and then just find another lock washer for the top, and you're fine. And they all line up. So I don't know why anybody would buy one of those 3D printed things unless you're like super purist, because a lock washer takes care of it. It comes with this BEP. So we got that set up, and I'll show you what's going on in the van. Yesterday I was able to get the MPPT solar controller and the Orion installed there. I put some more insulation up over the wheel well just because I don't know, you need it. And I got the wires kind of marked with blue tape, and I'm going to go ahead and mark the wires better. So that's what's going on. We can do some wiring today. We can start to get our Lynx distributor mounted in that, figure out wire lengths and all, and so that's what we'll do today. Let's get going. Okay, let's see how this is going to fit here. Okay, I just want to show you guys how I did this under the hood here, under the battery anyway. So I picked up this little fuse holder, and it holds a, I don't know what it is, 40 amp AMG fuse, and it just hooks right on. So works very good. And that extra wire coming off the top here is my stereo amplifier, but it just hooks right in. It's pretty nice. Okay, I just want to show you this. So you can just pull this divider out here, and then you can get at these big lugs. And so I bought this block fuse, and it's just simply, that's all it is. And I'm going to use this for my air conditioner. And so you can just bolt it on here. And that gets you out past the case of this thing. I'll put a link down below for this thing. But it's kind of nice because it extends this thing so that you've got one extra fuse on here. I put another bus bar down here for ground. And so that bus bar is just for, I had too many grounds. And so it's just hooked up to the center pole here on this thing. Who cares? It's a ground, right? There's no fuse or anything. It's just a ground. So bus bar here to this lower bus bar. And then I'm just going to ground some things here that, like the cases for all these Victron components have a ground spot to ground the case, and I never had ground wires on that, so we're gonna now. This cable right here is just so the Links distributor comes with it's just a telephone cable. That's what it is. The old-fashioned Ma Bell telephone. Anyways, so cut off the yellow and the black and connected it through a 12 volt to 5 volt converter. This will make the fuses light up on here. That's all this does. So it just clips in here. Let's see. That cable plugs in right there, and it goes, I just ran it underneath here, underneath all this right there. It's right there. And then it hooks onto the positive and the negative and the positive. And then, so I got our air conditioner hooked up here. So I think we're done with the bus bar. Let's put the cover on. Well, the batteries are here. Happy days. Yes! Ugh! There's no fans coming on because they're not plugged in yet. There's one plug there. There's some fans down here. There's fans in the dog crate, which is this one here. But yes, everything else that I wired up works. So my whole rewire job is working good. Green lights. Yeehaw. Okay. Onward and upward. Put the negative on the negative, positive on the positive. That would help. Okay. Look at that. Now this one here, this is what I had in here before. Works fine. We got a couple of them. There we go. That's it. Right there. And then the dog crate holds us in on this side. So we're good to go here. This thing is, where's it going to go? Nowhere. Wow. Okay. Both batteries are charging. The solar is down to 134 watts because it's getting dark. There's the brief. Guys, I think we're gonna just end this one right here. We got our epoch batteries in place and everything's working except the air conditioner. I still got a couple wires to connect, but hey, I'm really happy so far. Next time we're gonna modify the dog crate to put a notch in it to fit around this guy. And then there's some other panels we're gonna have to modify too, to like down here, to work with this. And I do want to get more ventilation through here to these, so we're gonna put some fans in and stuff. That's what these cables you see dangling here do for us. That's for ventilation. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and hit the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, and I just hope all of you enjoyed this video. So yeah, thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.